So tonight is game 2 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. The Celtics cruised to an easy 120-95 win in game 1 of this series on Tuesday night, also at the TD Garden in Boston, led by Jaylen Brown with 32 points, going 4 of 6 from three-point range, and Derek White with 25 points and going 7 of 12 from three-point range. Now, before game 1 tipped off, I made a video previewing that series as well as giving my thoughts on some other things going on in the 2024 NBA playoffs. Within that video, I made a suggestion that the Cavaliers should play Emoni Bates alongside Karis LeVert in the backcourt and give Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland a breather on the bench. First of all, Emoni Bates is a small forward, so he could not play in the backcourt. Second of all, that is one of the stupidest comments, or takes, I should say, I've ever had on this channel. I'm owning up to it right now. I have no idea what I was thinking. You can't have Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell off of the floor at the same time during this game or at any point during the rest of this series, no matter how long it goes. As of right now, it's looking like it may go 5 games at best. But still. So, fellow YouTuber and Boston Celtics fan Jesse Almeida got a hold of my video, and he showed it during his live stream on Wednesday night. And when he heard me say that about Emoni Bates and taking Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell off of the floor, he nearly fell out of his chair. He's like, yes, I want you to do that because the Celtics will wipe the floor with you in this series. And you know what? He's right. I am completely wrong for saying that. You know what? It was a way out there hot take, and I'm putting the water on it right now and completely extinguishing it. There is no way we can take both Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell and put them on the bench. One or both of them needs to be playing at all times. Because if they don't, there's no way we're winning this series. I don't think we're winning this series regardless, unfortunately. I was so hyped for this series. I have been asking to see it based on what happened both this season and last season. Because last season, the Cavaliers won the regular season series against the Celtics 3-1, and 3 of the games between the two teams went into overtime. And then this season, in the third and final regular season meeting, the lone game in Cleveland, the Celtics were up 22 points with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And we came all the way back to beat the Celtics 105-104. So, because of that, and also because I feel like Celtics-Cavaliers is a rivalry. They've met 5 times in the playoffs since 2008. 2008, 2010, 2017, 2018, and now 2024. So this is the 6th time they've met. And I believe, yes, this is the 3rd time they've played each other in the conference semifinals. The other 2 meetings were in the Eastern Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken, in 2017 and 2018. So, I would definitely call this a rivalry. But as of right now, this series is not going to live up to my hype or my expectations. Now, it's really unfortunate because, like I said, I was so excited to see this series. And then for the Celtics to just come out and completely obliterate us in Game 1, I'm just like, well, shit. There goes my hype and excitement. But I'll tell you what it could lead to. It could lead to a Boston, New York Eastern Conference Finals, which, interestingly, we could end up getting Boston against New York in the Eastern Conference Finals for both the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Right now, the Celtics are up 1-0 against the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Semifinals. Like I said, game 2 is tonight. The New York Knicks are currently up 2-0 against the Indiana Pacers in the other Eastern Conference semifinals matchup. Although the Knicks were the beneficiaries of some bad ref situations in game 1. First of all, Dante DiVincenzo deserves an Oscar for his acting job on that offensive foul by Miles Turner. That was not an illegal screen or anything, and we didn't get to see a proper ending. That was not a kicked ball, and on that same possession, Dante DiVincenzo should have gotten called for an offensive foul himself. So, yeah, the refs basically handed game 1 to the New York Knicks. Now, you'll have to excuse me, I'm dealing with a bit of a seasonal cold or seasonal allergies, one of the two. Now, the Pacers don't get off scot-free because they outscored the Knicks in terms of bench points. I believe it was like 46-3, something like that. Let me double check. Just double checking here. Team stats. Let's see. Doesn't have bench points on here for ESPN, but I believe it was like 46-3 or something crazy like that. And the Knicks still won. Now, New York is losing players like flies because they lost Mitchell Robinson. They're already without Julius Randle. And now OG Anunoby just got injured. And we know that Tom Thibodeau doesn't really use his bench anyway. And Jalen Brunson had to leave game 2 last night because of a foot injury. Now, Brunson came back and powered the Knicks to a 130-121 victory, in which the Pacers found 49 missed calls or calls that went against them, and they're filing that along with the 29 referee issues or ref calls, I guess you could say, from game 1. They're submitting 78 calls to the league. I'm not sure what the Pacers are trying to accomplish here. I can't comment, though, on anything that happened in Game 2 between the Pacers and the Knicks because I did not watch it. I was working the Cleveland Monsters game in which they won Game 3 of the North Division semifinals against the Belleville Senators 3-2 in double overtime. So I'll have to go back and watch Game 2 between the Pacers and the Knicks. But flipping over to the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Boston Bruins are playing the Florida Panthers in a rematch of one of the biggest upsets in NHL history when the Panthers defeated the Bruins in 7 games last season. So that series is currently tied 1-1 after the Panthers just dismantled the Bruins 6-1 in Game 2. And then you've got the New York Rangers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes as well, where the Rangers are up 2-0. So yeah, we could get New York against Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals for both the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs. But again, just to reiterate the point that I said at the beginning of this video, the comment I made about playing Karis LeVert and Amani Bates at the same time and giving Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell a break on the bench, I am officially putting water on that to extinguish that hot take. I am hereby officially rescinding that comment. It was one of the stupidest comments I've ever made. And Jesse Almeida, you were absolutely right for calling me out on it and roasting me because rightfully so, you should have. And hopefully we can steal game 2 tonight. But that I think that's unlikely to happen. Again, excuse me, I'm dealing with a bit of a seasonal cold or allergies. But hopefully, if when this series comes back to Cleveland, we can at least win one game and send it back to Boston for a game 5. Ideally, I'd like to win both so we get game 6 back here in Cleveland and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think the Celtics win pretty comfortably again tonight, unfortunately. I have to be objective. I think Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum both go crazy. Jason Tatum's not going to be held to 18 points again. He's going to get going. And yeah, the Celtics just have more depth than the Cavaliers. It's that simple. So I have the Celtics winning tonight comfortably. And we're going back to Cleveland down 0-2. Unfortunately.